Oh, what's up YouTube? Travis here. I'm going to give you another property management update. Here it is late June. What is today actually? June 26th. So this is going to be a late June, early July kind of property management update timeline. I'm standing here in my soybean food plot that I put out earlier, probably 6 weeks ago. I'd have to double check. I can put the real date whenever I planted it. We had a really good rain the next few days after I planted it. Everything came up. It was doing fantastic. And then we went through a 4-week dry spell with no rain at all. And during that dry spell, the crows found this food plot. The turkeys got in here some too, but mainly the crows, and they just devastated this thing. I come out here every day and I'm having to run the crows out of here. They're pulling the leaves off the beans. They're pulling new growth up out of the ground as soon as it sprouts. So good news is we've got rain coming in again tomorrow, and we're supposed to get about 2.5 to 3 inches of rain over the next 4 days or so. So much needed rain, but surprisingly, I mean, considering how much has been browsed on this, this is the real world wildlife Gen 2 soybean. Considering how much browse pressure it's had from mainly the crows, some rabbit, but I mean, it's big time crows is what's doing the damage. It's still coming along pretty good. I've hit it twice now with glyphosate to kill the weeds down. I've hit it a couple times with fertilize now. So I'm really kind of surprised that it's still holding on as well as it is, considering how much browse pressure there is. I'm going to go down here and put my other summer food plot in. Yes, I know it's late into June. That's really late to be putting in another food plot. But I went 4 weeks without rain. I can't just irrigate my food plots wherever they're at, so I have to depend on the weather. And I'm not going to sit there and put a food plot in if the forecast is calling for no rain for the next 8, 9, 10 days, because it's just going to sit there and the birds are going to end up scratching the seeds out, and I'm going to lose most of the food plot. So I've got the food plot partially disked. I'm going to go down and finish disking it, and then I'm going to show you here in just a little bit the seeds that I'm actually going to put in that food plot. So let's get out of here. While I'm over here, I'll go ahead and show you this too. I just thought about this as I was leaving. I put out some sawtooth oaks over here. So I've got 3 sawtooth oaks planted over here right now. I've got 4, 5. I've got 5 more over here that are about 2 feet tall that I started from some acorns that I collected last year. I'm going to have them ready to transplant come this winter. And I've also got a couple of chestnuts over here that I'm going to transplant here this winter too. My big goal this year is I've got 5 or 6 chinkapins here. If you don't know what chinkapins are, they're basically just a dwarf chestnut. I've got 5 or 6 native chinkapins here on the farm. My goal this year is to try to collect as many of the nuts of those as I can and try to germinate some more of those. It's more of a shrub than it is a tree, and they used to be very abundant in this area. Well, over the years, and I think I haven't been able to confirm this, but I think they're probably susceptible to chestnut blight. And so what's happened is a lot of these chinkapins that were around here back when my dad was a kid, most of them have died off. So I feel really fortunate to have the 5 or 6 that I have, but I'm going to do whatever I can to try to germinate as many more as I can to try to spread them around the property and maybe try to get some more reestablished here. So what I've got here is I've got 2 different food plot blends that I'm going to put in the food plot back here behind me. So in some of the earlier videos you saw some footage of a crimson clover winter wheat food plot that I had back here near my pond. So I went through and I mowed all that stuff down and I've disked it up pretty good. It had all went to seed, so a lot of that's probably going to come back this year. I will go through and I will overseed it here in the fall. But until that time, I've got 2 different things. So at the turkey convention, at the NWTF Turkey Convention in Nashville, they were giving out the Natural Resources Conservation Services, USDA, was giving out some little bags of warm season and cool season food plot blends. This is just a small sample pack that they had. This has buckwheat, iron clay cowpeas, lab, millet, sun hemp, sunflower, soybeans, and corn. So that'll just take up a real small, what's it cover? About 2,000 square feet. So that'll cover, you know, a little portion of this food plot down here. And then I've decided to try Hancock Seed Company this year. And what I've got from them is they have a spring and summer wildlife mix. This has a lot of the same stuff that's in that, actually. Iron clay cowpeas, vetch, sunflowers, sorghum, sun hemp, dwarf corn, and Japanese millet. So this bag right here, I believe this was supposed to cover about a half an acre. This spot that I have back down here to plant is around a quarter of an acre. So I'm going to use about a half of this bag, plus I'm going to mix that in as well. So it'll be pretty heavily seeded. I'll just hand distribute it. I'll go back over it with the disc set to kind of a narrow settings. I'm not going to have it set to I'm not going to have the disc set at a tight angle or at a large angle for chopping of the ground. I'm just going to have it set pretty narrow to just kind of turn the seed into the soil. There's already a lot of vegetation dead and chopped up on top of it, so it ought to help retain that moisture underneath there. That's one thing I didn't have over here in this other food plot, was I didn't have a lot of vegetation on top of it. So when we didn't get any rain, that just dried out quickly because it was just bare soil. So I have a feeling this down here is going to hold on to moisture a lot better, especially if we're going to get about 2.5, 3 inches of rain over the next few days. So let's get to it, see what we can do. So while I'm doing this, I'll go ahead and tell you, we're starting to now see fawns show up. I did have several poults, turkeys, hens, and poults on camera, and I've had them in the yard several weeks now, but they have started to disappear, and I'm afraid what's happening is I'm starting to get a lot of feral cats coming through up here, and I'm afraid that those feral cats are doing a number to my hens and poults. All right, well, food plot's in. I've got dirt and dust and junk all in my mouth and my teeth. I can just feel it. Anyway, food plot's in. Wind's picking up. There's some dark clouds rolling in. Rain wasn't supposed to start till tomorrow. There was a small chance for today, for this evening, but I mean, if I could get a rain on this evening to go ahead and settle those seeds into place, that'd be awesome. But, you know, the fact that I got it in today and the rain's scheduled to be here for the next 4 days, I think I'll be pretty happy with that. Let's see how it goes. First time using Hancock seed, first time using that blend. Last time I used cowpeas and lab was probably 3 years ago, over on my dad's place for a summer food plot, and the deer just devastated that thing. Let's hope this works here. Right now, I've talked to the neighbors all around, plus my dad's property and my uncle's over here. This is the only summer food plot anywhere around here. Well, I mean, this little one over here and then this one. So I've got the only 2 summer food plots on any of the adjoining neighbors' property. There's a deer standing over there. I've had a doe come into this yard. She just left. I've had a doe come into my yard the past several days over here eating blackberries and raspberries, and she's letting me get really close to her. Actually, she walked up on me the other day while I was out here coming to pick blackberries myself, and she ran a circle around me, and I think she's got a fawn bedded nearby here, because, you know, I've seen deer behave that way before. It's like the mom is trying to draw your attention to pull you away from the little one. So I'd almost bet she's got a little one bedded over here in the edge of the field, in this tree line over here where she's coming to getting these blackberries. So anyway, it's a good time of year, great time. Be looking for, you know, the fawns and the poults, and, you know, you put in the effort now, put in a little sweat equity now in the heat of summer, get your property where you want it. That way you can reap the benefits of it come September, October, November. Anyway, until next time, God bless. Have a good day.